Good morning, Packers fans. I'm just grooving to that intro music. I love it so much. I hope you're all doing well. Welcome to Packers Daily, your chat daily, Monday through Friday, right here on the Cheesehead TV social channels. Hope you're all doing well wherever you are, chatting with Packers fans worldwide, because that's what we do here at Cheesehead TV. You know what else we do? We like to play some fantasy football on Underdog Fantasy. That's the best and easiest place to play fantasy football for big cash prizes. On Underdog Fantasy, you just draft. No need to worry about waivers, lineups, or injuries. Underdog handles that all for you. Go to underdogfantasy.com or download the app. You get a free $25 in bonus cash if you use the code Cheesehead. And you make your first deposit. That $25 is worth 5 free entries into the Puppy 3, a fantasy football tournament with $1 million in prize money and a $200,000 first place prize. Let's say you miss out on drafting Aaron Rodgers in your home league. You can go sign up for Underdog and draft him 5 times. And Underdog will handle putting him in your lineup throughout the season, so you only get his best scores throughout the year. So what are you waiting for? Well, I know what you might be waiting for. Aaron, I don't play fantasy football. I want to read about the team. I want to know about the squad. I want to feel something. I want to touch something. I'm a tactile person. You know what? I got just the thing for you. That's the 2021 official yearbook of the Green Bay Packers. Head to packersyearbook.com. Use code CHTV. That's code CHTV to get 10% off. They'll mail it right to you. You can also sign up for the Game Day magazine being delivered digitally to your inbox every morning of every game. Again, CHTV to get 10% off. And while you're out there whiling away on the internet, head to VINFL.com. That's VINFL.com for this sweet Packers hoodie. It's an Acme Packers throwback. You use code CheeseheadTV, you'll get 15% off. You can wear this thing year round. It's fantastic. Do it at VINFL.com. How is everybody this morning? Hope everyone's doing well. Good to see everybody in the comment section. Everyone's very excited about the new punter. We're all very excited the Packers have a new punter. I've already seen one single person has already asked, can he hold? Guess we'll find out, right? Sorry, I don't mean to be so cavalier, but it's just hilarious to me that J.K. Scott's inconsistency continuously costs them in big games and games in general. And then the Packers finally make a move to try and upgrade. And somebody's like, but can he hold? Yes, holding is a concern. There's zero doubt that the operation, as it is termed, between the long snapper, holder, and the kicker is of the utmost importance when it comes to field goals and extra points. I have every confidence that the Packers will work on this and make sure that the holding is up to snuff by the time week 1 rolls around. I'm just guesswork here on my part. J.K. Scott is no longer awful. Well, he may just be awful someplace else. Hey, man, I still think J.K.'s got talent, and I hope he lands on his feet with another team somewhere and has a second act in the NFL. We've seen it before, seen it often in this league. So I don't think this is the end of J.K. Scott in the league. I would be surprised. Dustin, thanks for the super chat. We are going 0-16 without the weapon. Doomed. Why would you put that out in the universe, man? I get it. I get you're being funny, but I don't know. Jimmy, Goot cutting the fat the way Ted wouldn't. Sorry, guys. Yeah, there's a very noticeable trend when it comes to admitting defeat, as it were, when it comes to draft picks in a way that Ted never did. There's zero question that Brian has shown again and again he is willing to move on from guys who just aren't progressing the way they had hoped. Obviously, the most aggressive recent example is Kamal Martin, but I think you can go through his decisions these last 2 or 3 years and see that trend continuously playing out. And I'm all for it. I think it's the smart way to operate. Big B is here. What's up, Big B? How you doing, buddy? Good to see you. Hope you're well, man. I'm excited for the wide receiver core. Offense is going to be hard to stop. Brian, this offense is going to score early, and it is going to score often. Andy and I talked about this yesterday on Let's Talk Football. If you didn't see it, we broke down the initial 53-man roster yesterday live here on the YouTube channel. Make sure you go watch that because Andy had all sorts of great insights into the decision-making process and, why things played out the way they did with the roster decisions. I'll just say, yes, this offense, the way it is constructed, everything we saw this summer from Aaron Rodgers and company, they are going to be even more potent than they were last year, and that is saying something. Any Z sightings? No, there won't be anything on Z until I would say a week from today. So next Wednesday. So when we get our first injury report, first practice, there's no availabilities after tomorrow, I think. Maybe we get something out of Coach today or Brian today. I tend to doubt it. They don't have to give up anything until next week. So that would be my guess. All these former Packers being released. Would you bring anyone back? No, nobody leaps to mind that they gotta, need a return engagement on. I saw Montravius Adams was out in New England, and I guess that makes sense. They have an insanely talented front, so I'm not surprised. But the Packers, they're going to go with youth. They're going to go with guys that they know. I love Jack Heflin making it, so that would, to me, be the way the Packers will undoubtedly continue forward, rather than bringing back aged players who have been here already. TKM, thanks to the super chat. Greetings, Mr. Nagler. Favorite rookie on the 53 and why? Can I say Jack Heflin? I just love, I love the way he plays. Look, I'm excited for Josh Myers. I'm excited for Amari Rodgers. I'm excited for the entire class. I think they're going to contribute in a way that last year's didn't. But to me, Heflin's story, the fact that he really played his way onto this roster, whether it was what he showed in camp practices or in preseason games. Guy only has one speed. He just brings it down in and down out. Really smart, instinctual player as well. I'm really excited to see. Now, who knows? He may not even suit up right away. But yeah, he's the guy whose story and narrative I really like the most. Kyle, thanks for the super chat. Any cuts you're worried or don't think make it back to the practice squad? I think the only one you're really kind of looking at your watch about is Benkert. Quarterback play is so precarious around the league. It would not surprise me to see somebody bring him in and put him on their 53. I still doubt that happens, but that's the one player where I'm thinking, oh gosh, please let him make it through. Everybody else, I mean, it's no knock on those guys, but most of these guys are a dime a dozen around the league. Everyone's got their cuts that they want to get back on their practice squad. It's so very rare that teams take a flyer on the seventh safety that you've cut, that, oh gosh, how we got to put him on our 53. Because we're Packers fans, we are so hyper fixated on our guys and what they can do and their performance throughout camp and preseason that when they do get cut, we're oh my gosh. But ultimately, league wide, that is a pin drop in a sea of pins. It's like it's nothing. There's not, more often than not, there's not some personnel guy sitting there at 2 a.m. breaking down the Jets preseason tape to go and watch Innis Gaines and go, ooh, I really think we should get him on the team. It's just, that is just not happening. Now I say that and watch one of these guys get picked up, but more often than not, we overblow that concern this time of year. Matt, thanks for the super chat. Amazing coverage as usual. Do you think whether a player was vaccinated had any influence in cuts within Green Bay Packers across the league? I have little doubt that Brian will be asked that question later this morning. I would tend to think probably not in Green Bay. League-wide, probably. I don't think you're ever going to get a truly honest answer after Urban Meyer said what he said yesterday, and now the NFLPA is launching an investigation. You're not allowed to be truthful about this shit, But human nature would tell you, yeah, most likely, probably, it's another piece of information, right? Your job as a personnel guy is to gather the information and make an informed decision on each and every one of these players. And being vaccinated or no, is a piece of information. So again, I don't think you'll ever get a straight up answer from Gutekunst on that, but I would suspect the answer is probably not straight up, like this is the deciding factor, but they certainly incorporated it into their conversation. Dustin, thanks for the super chat. Folks sleeping on MVS, new slant option, open him up. MVS is going to have a year, man. I don't think he's going to be like gangbusters production-wise every week. I do think it's going to be matchup dependent and a little bit of deciding, opponents deciding how they play the Packers offense. But there are going to be weeks when he absolutely feasts. There's no doubt about it. Back-to-back Rodgers MVP, Bethany, it's possible. It's unlikely. But hell, in this offense, the way they're going to move the ball and score, it's not impossible. Absolutely not impossible. JJ, thanks for the super chat. How is one of the best punters in the league only, quote, worth difference between 6th and 7th round draft picks? Seems strange compared to lesser positions. Thanks for enriching my mornings all these years. Oh, no problem. Thanks so much. Well, because he was going to be cut. I mean, when the Packers call up and make that trade, they do it at the last minute, knowing that there's a very real possibility that that guy is going to be on the street. The reason the Packers even called to make the trade was because they wanted to make sure they didn't get jumped in the waiver wire. You know, there's undoubtedly a possibility that a team in front of them claims him and then they don't even get the chance. So they're just making sure that they get out ahead of it. That's only worth, I mean, it's a punter, you know. I know the Packers have struggled these many years to find a capable punter, but ultimately in the grand scheme of things, it's rare where a punter is a difference maker. Now it does happen. The Rams have another one actually. Johnny Hecker has been a difference maker for them. But more often than not, you're not winning and losing games because of your punter. Your punter can certainly help in that regard, but it is rarely a position that tilts the field. Hence the lack of value, draft pick wise. Brewers on fire. You damn right, Jimmy. I made it till 1 a.m. 2 nights ago. Didn't make it last night. I fell asleep, and it was 6-1. Woody got out of that jam, and then I fell asleep. So it was good. I'm glad to wake up and see the W. Sean, thanks for the super chat. Would Winfrey have been receiver 6 if he hadn't gotten injured? Great question. Something I think Brian will probably get asked today. It's hard to say with any kind of, assurance just because of the fact that he got hurt so early. I mean, he looked really good at the start of camp, but then he was hurt and we didn't see him for weeks. So there's no telling what might have happened. I think if he had continued on the trajectory he was on, yeah, there's a good chance. A good chance that would have happened. But you never really know. I mean, like Brian always says, it's a puzzle that you're putting together, and keeping a 6th or 7th wide receiver would have meant, subtracting someplace else. And now who knows, maybe they keep him over Taylor, but I think they really like Taylor. I think he had a strong camp and a great preseason and is much better on special teams. So there's no given that Winfrey, even if he had balled out from scrimmage, would have been kept over Taylor. In addition to, maybe. Dave, thanks for the super chat. Really sucks for the guys who are just not quite good enough for the NFL. Can't imagine getting that close and falling short. It's a tough gig, man. It's tough life, no doubt about it. I mean, most of these guys at this point have fought through so much to get to this point. They understand where they're at. But yes, undoubtedly, it has got to stick in your back of your mind at some point and say, I am so much better than literally thousands and thousands and thousands of other guys, but just not quite good enough to play with this basically 1,000 or so dudes. It's pretty crazy. The line is fine, no doubt about it. AJ, thanks for the super chat. Better running back room, Green, Davenport, Fisher, or Jones, Dillon, Hill? Oh, good call on that running back room. That was a great trio. Potential is there, but that's all it is right now is potential. We all love AJ. Happy to have him here on Cheesehead TV every Monday during the season. But he doesn't have the pelts on the wall in the league yet. He's got a couple really promising performances, but we don't know what he's capable of through a full 16-game season with true kind of involvement in the offense. We have no idea on Kylan Hill. Really, again, lots of potential, really exciting preseason, but that doesn't mean much once week 1 kicks off. Aaron Jones is the one guy who's done it at a high level for a number of years. So I'm excited. Don't get me wrong. The prospect is there for a very special group, but long way to go in that regard. Walter, thanks for the super chat. Why do you think Kamal got a shorter leash than Oren? Most likely because Oren was a little bit more assignment sure and balls out on teams. Kamal was just a absolute fire drill. You never really knew where he was going to be on the defensive side of the ball. Sometimes he was there laying wood and putting a big lick on a guy and you got really excited. But like that was 1 out of 10 times. Those other 9 times, you had no idea how assignment sure he was going to be, if he was going to be assignment sure at all. Whereas with Oren, more often than not, it's a physical problem, right? Where, yes, maybe an inside lineman gets up on him in the run game, or he maybe is late arriving in the flat or something like that. But he knows what he's supposed to do at least. To me, that's the big difference, that and teams. Kamal at least threw his body around on teams. I'll give him that. But Oren is a really good special teams player. So that would be the main reason. You talking fantasy football at MVS? I would never talk fantasy football about MVS. Well, I don't know. The MVS is great for a flex position, somebody that you're going to want to have in your lineup in case of injury to other dudes, right? I would never count on him on a week by week basis, like as wide receiver 1 or 2. You just can't, because there are going to be dry spells. That's just the nature of the beast. But, there are certainly going to be weeks where teams try to roll coverage to Adams and try to load up the box on Jones. MVS is going to have opportunities, one-on-one or otherwise, where he's going to be able to put up some numbers. The problem is you don't really know when those weeks are going to be. So to me, he's a great wild card. He's a great flex play, but I would never have him in my lineup regularly. When do we start signing practice squad players? Well, they'll go through the waiver wire process. Will happen today. I believe the deadline for that is 4 p.m. or 3 p.m. Central Time. And then once the waiver wire process is through, the Packers will start signing guys. And we'll probably start getting news on that probably through the afternoon, maybe / early evening, but definitely by tomorrow morning, we'll start seeing names. And then the Packers will announce it next January. I kid. Jason Wallers, do your job. All right. MVS great for Underdog Fantasy. Correct, Michael. See, that's why you want to do best ball. That's why you want to play Underdog Fantasy, because then when MVS goes off, he's in your lineup. And when he does nothing, he's not. Perfect. Well done. Stokes takes the Kings job midway through the season. Possibly. That's no guarantee, though. I know we all love the potential. We all see the athleticism. Definitely the prospect is there for that to happen. But he's got to do it. It's not going to be handed to him. And Kevin King ain't going to just hand his job over. I think if there's someone who's motivated on the Packers, it's Kevin King. He knows he had a really bad year last year, and he had his worst possible game at the worst possible time. Somebody, want to look at some motivation, look at Kevin King. I'm not saying he's going to light it up or anything like that, but I think we're going to get a better version of Kevin King. Hopefully closer to the 2019 version than we get the 2020 version. Brett, thanks for the super chat. You versus Herman punt pass kick competition. Herman don't want that smoke. Nah, I'll be at the bar. Yeah, he can win that. That'll be good. Morning, Nags. Why do you think they kept Yadam? Special teams. And he can actually tackle. Kebianento cannot. And none of those guys are going to be playing from scrimmage on purpose. They wanted somebody on special teams who can tackle and blow things up. That's pretty simple. What else we got? Morning, Nags. What's up, James? How are you, man? Good day from London. Dale, good day from New York City. I hope you're well. King is decent when he is healthy, but given his injury history, do you think we should have kept one more corner? Becky, they did go light a little bit at corner, but don't forget, we got to see what the practice squad looks like first. And I suspect they'll have a corner or two on the practice squad. And with how you can bring guys up now, it's pretty easy as far as promoting from the practice squad. You can do it a couple of times before you have to sign them to your 53. So, yeah, it's a little eyebrow raising that they went light at corner, but because you can, utilize the practice squad in a way you couldn't in past years. And Brian and company showed a really kind of healthy understanding of that process, and they took full advantage of it last season. I suspect they'll do the same thing this year. So I'm not too concerned about it, but all it takes is one game where you get a bunch of injuries out of position and all of a sudden you're really super light. So hopefully that doesn't occur, and the Packers just weather the storm, so to speak. Dustin, thanks for the super chat. Stokes' best comparison, Sam Shields. According to Devontae Adams, Sam Shields and Jair Alexander. Not bad company to keep. Definitely. Pack one, you are too kind. Who's your pick for a big breakout year? A.J. Dillon. I think he's going to wreck shop. I think he's about to take fools' souls all season long. And I am here for it. And you should be here for Carry the G with A.J. Dillon every Monday night. See how that segue works. So good. Any players that were cut from other teams that you like for the opening day roster? No. This is your team. People are always looking around, trying to play fantasy football, no. This is your team. This is the locker room. These are the guys. They've fought together. They've worked together. They're ready for week one. This is your team. I love that is one of the things that Brian has kind of held over from Ted's tenure. incubating the locker room. And I understand, yes, there is talent out there, and I am not against bringing some in from time to time. But at any given moment, I am very happy with the fact that the Packers, more often than not, are consistently filled with players that they have drafted and developed. That's my squad. Kyle, what's up, man? Thanks for the super chat. Do you think needing Elton at tackle forced them to keep Hansen in case Myers gets hurt? Must not have trusted Lucas Patrick at center. No. They trust Lucas Patrick at center. I have no idea why they kept Hansen, honestly, over Ben Braden. No clue at all. There's nothing. There's not one thing you can point to on tape from Hansen's preseason. Obviously, we don't have tape of practices, but certainly not from preseason. That would suggest, hey, you better keep this kid. And the idea that they needed a backup center in case something happened to Josh Myers. I mean, not only can Elton play center, yes, he's playing left tackle, but you've also got other tackles on the roster. Elton can sign over there in an emergency. Lucas Patrick has literally done it multiple times during games without practice. No. Hansen is like the fourth center. I don't understand that one. That one makes little to no sense for me. Brandy, we playing real football yet? We'll see, Brandy. Real close. Half team will travel. The Packers hopefully we'll find out later today. Sean Payton intimated yesterday that the Saints will have their plan in place by this afternoon of where the hell they're going to play this week 1 game. So hopefully we'll have an idea of where this game is going to take place a week from Sunday. All right, everybody, I'm going to have to get going. Can't thank you enough for hanging out, talking Packers each and every day, Monday through Friday, right here on the Cheesehead TV social channels. Please do me a monster favor. Hit like on the video. Subscribe to the channel. Patreon members, I'll see you at happy hour tonight, 6 p.m. Eastern. If you haven't, join us. Patreon.com/CheeseheadTV. Join us. All we ask is $5 a month. It supports everything we do, both on the website, the video side, the brand in general. It really means a lot to us, and we have a great time at the happy hour every week. It's lots of fun. Lots of football talk, some other non-football talk at times from certain members. But it is a great time, and we really appreciate the support. If you can't join Patreon, I totally understand. But please do hit like, hit subscribe, tell your friends, and tell your family. Cheesehead TV, we are devoted to Green Bay Packers fans worldwide. Thanks a lot, everybody. Have a great day. Go Pack, go.